Tony? How we living?
Pretty good. Well, I'm doing what I can do. I'm down in the chamber. I've been holed up here for 3 days, avoiding all the women and
Tony, I think we're live. We're live.
Oh, are we live?
We're live. That's it. We're doing it live.
Oh, wow. Are we? Where's Craig Trapp?
He'll be here soon. He's going to
catching an Uber. At least he's not catching a bus this time.
Tony, rip it up.
What? Is this Stocks Daily without Craig Trapp again?
I
did not know once I submitted my fee for hosting the last show that Docs would even keep me on board because, my prowess at hosting shows is top shelf, So here we are, Docs Daily, Griffin, Murphy, Nick Menken, and did you boys happen to see? Let's talk about the Final Four real quick. Now, I don't know who everybody had. Everybody thinks out there in the internet world that we all, are talking to each other all day long and we all know everybody's plays. I don't know what anybody's doing. Yeah. On occasion, I'll bounce something off Vernon or Scott or Griffin, what am I missing, sort of thing. But none of us know. But I had Houston last night.
So did I.
And I thought it was a coin flip game. Mm-hmm. And, but when you have coin flip games, what I've noticed over 33 years, and I'll get your feedback on this because you're youngins, I always go with the better coach and the better defense, which was my angle with taking Houston. I just thought they had the better coach. I thought they had a little bit more veteran team. I thought they had a more experienced head coach, to say the least. And I read something this morning online, said, well, Houston had a 12-point lead and they gave it away. No, they didn't. Houston came and took it from them because you're not going to win a game in the Elite Eight, the Final Four, the Sweet 16, or the national title game when you're shooting 35% from the floor. You're not going to do it. Not in this day and age. I mean, and it was a 2-point game. We lost by 1 to end the season with the L. But, I just thought last night at least Florida was a better team. I thought, and I'll get your feedback. I'll start with Murphy. If Houston could have shot 42% from the floor, they'd have won going away.
Yeah.
But they couldn't get it done last night on the offensive end. And by the way, tip of the cap, tip of the spear, because Florida did play some defense in the second half.
Yeah, Tony, I'm in full agreement. And to go back to how you handicap, how you mentioned, you look at the better defenses and better coach. I'm in full agreement with you here. And when it comes to the coach, it kind of goes head and head because, Kelvin Sampson, he's not necessarily the guy where you look at saying, I know he's going to win the big game. He's had his hits, his losses, so he's always a fear to me. But the way that I handicap this game, I'm never going against a team that's won 18 consecutive matchups. That was what Houston did rolling into that game. They were on an 18-game winning streak. They were nearly dead in their most recent matchup, came back from life, and found another way to win. The team continuously just found ways to win all season long. They did have the best defense in all of basketball all season long. On top of that, number one, dominant. They crash the boards hard. They shoot well. The biggest issue yesterday was just like you said. They were not hitting their shots from the field, hitting 34%. They shot 24 for 69 from the field yesterday, which was absolutely atrocious, and that's why they didn't bring home that game. Florida came out. Their defense was stout. They crashed the boards hard. Florida played Florida basketball. Houston played Houston basketball. Only Houston was not able to execute from the field, and that is why they lost that game, Tony. That's how I look at that game. It was a coin flip, just like you said. Nobody knew who was going to take that game. It wasn't going to be a blowout. There wasn't going to be a one-sided way. We all knew that Houston and Florida both have great defenses, and Houston and Florida both have very good offenses. They have big men in the paint, and they have two hell of coaches. So it was one of those coin flip games. For me, the trend is your friend. That was the way I played that game yesterday. I'm not jumping in front of an 18-game winning streak, so I was on Houston +1, got beat by the point, Tony.
Nick, I would say the top spin volley lob this back into your side of the court. I would say if those two played 10 times. The line would be -1 one way or the other, and they split those games 50-50.
Yeah, they're very evenly matched teams, but in the first half, I thought the Houston Cougars absolutely dominated not only the boards, but just their tempo and the way that they played on the defensive side. You saw their point guard. I'm drawing a blank on that Florida point guard, but he did not have a point. He did not have a point there in that first half. They played hard-nosed defense, and they led that game, I want to say, like 98% of that whole entire game. You got to tip your cap off to Florida because they made shots when it came down to crunch time, and Houston just could not get it done on that last possession there, too. Not even getting a shot up. Wasn't good. I thought Houston played the better basketball in that game, but just in the crunch time, Florida stepped up to the occasion and hit some big shots in their national championships. But I would take that Houston Cougars bet 10 out of 10 times. They do have the better coach, like Tony and Griff was saying, and their defense is absolutely phenomenal. They shown it in that first half. So definitely an eyebrow raiser that the Florida Gators pulled it off, but you got to tip your caps to them, Tony. They hit the shots when it counted there in the second half.
Yeah, when you have one starter in double digits and your closest compadres got 9 for Houston, you're in trouble. Clayton did not have a good game when he opened up that first half. And I thought Houston's defense in the first half really stymied Florida. They didn't know which end was up. They couldn't get anything going. They did a nice job on Clayton. Florida figured out to just lob it down low in the second half where Houston was leaving the paint open, and that's where they eventually beat them. And of course, yesterday also we're going to get you some picks. That's why you're here. Free picks. He's Griffin Murphy, Nick Menken. Be sure and get over to DocSports.com. Click that free link for $60 on the website. We'll park $60 in any new account like we're stupid, and we'll also give you a profit. We'll also give you a profit guarantee and no hassles and no strings. And a couple of podcast announcements coming up later in the show as well. Before Craig Trapp gets over here and tries to steamroll me as a host. So we're going to get right into Major League Baseball today. Now, yesterday, Monday, I made this comment on my free pick video today. And yet the tradition on Mondays in Major League Baseball continues. Now, you young cats and all your compadres out there that are getting your stuff and you're attracting the IG crowd and these young guys that want to get into betting, they want to look at sabermetrics and analytics and all these stats, and they're going, Tony, the old school eye test crap doesn't work anymore. Well, boys, I got a keen eye for the obvious. And what you see every Monday in Major League Baseball is nothing short of watching a car accident in slow motion with the family member inside of the vehicle tumbling down the interstate through the culvert into oncoming traffic. Because whatever you look at on Mondays last year in Major League Baseball, whatever you arrived at through all your analytics and all your handicapping, you look at the scoreboard Monday night and you're just scratching your head. Mm-hmm. Same thing yesterday. Whatever conventional wisdom is going to put out there doesn't work. Whatever you come up with, you go the other way. I'll damn well guarantee you'll hit 70% of your picks every Monday, because we had Zach Gallen on the hill last night at home, -125 against an Orioles team that I saw in Kansas City that, quite frankly, could not find their ass with two hands in that series against the Royals. And they go down there and they punk the D-backs in their own house 5-1, which is absolutely amazing. On top of the fact that the Diamondbacks have been lighting up the plate like the Christmas tree, and they were the #1 offense in Major League Baseball last year. A lot of unconventional stuff. You gotta tiptoe through the tulips lightly on Monday, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, I was with you there, Tony. I had the Diamondbacks as my top play. Zach Gallen, where he pitches his best in the desert, gives up 4 runs. I want to say the 2 runs came early. But man, the Baltimore Orioles, you got to tip your cap to them. They came alive on the offense finally, especially Rutschman there getting an RBI. Arizona is one of my favorite teams to bet on, especially at home. And they don't have Ketel Marte. That's a big, big loss right now in that lineup. So you got to pay attention to that. But just a snubber of a game there, the Arizona Diamondbacks. And I'm with you, Tony. Just a ridiculous thing. The way that these D-backs have been producing runs, too, on the offensive side, scoring 1 run, unacceptable. I look for them to actually bounce back here tonight at home, but we will see here tonight, Tony.
Tony, you frozen? Muted.
No, I'm not frozen.
Oh,
Nick's frozen.
No. Nick said he's got him bouncing back tonight. D-backs, bounce back.
Yeah, I know. He's got to bounce it back minus 110. This one here, again, it looks to me like the sports books are dangling a carrot. You got 2 guys pitching tonight with over 10 ERAs dating back to last year in their last 5. And you got that total sitting out there, at 9.5, which looks very tasty. What do you think about that? You willing to jump? You willing to jump back on that bandwagon tonight if it was you, Griff?
Yeah, no, Tony.
Get on the snake.
I would. I've never been impressed with Charlie Morton. He's coming from the Braves. This guy has been a very consistent pitcher throughout his career. And as of most recent, these past few years, he's kind of gotten a little bit shaky. Right now, he's got a 9.72 ERA entering this game in 8 innings of work, absolutely getting shelled early on in the season. And you got Merrill Kelly getting a start for the D-backs. Merrill Kelly is no joke. This guy is an absolute gunslinger, and he's coming in this matchup with a 10.0 ERA. I think this is a statement game where it's pitcher versus pitcher, and the better offense wins. Arizona, they cracked the seal yesterday. They have not cracked the seal. Baltimore did. I believe it is Arizona's turn to crack the seal. On top of that, dating back to last season, Arizona absolutely lit up. And when I say lit up, I mean lit up left-handed pitching. So looking at this game right now, Tony, Arizona, they're on a 3-game losing streak. They're at home. It's a bounce-back game. It's a revenge spot for them. I like them here with that price at minus 110. I think it's a fair value price, especially with Kelly on the bump. This guy's not a huge name in the MLB. He's getting bigger, but this guy shoves it. And when he comes in locked in, he's nearly untouchable. So I'm back in this game as well, Tony. I'm on the D-backs. I almost actually had him as a premium selection. I held off. I got 2 plays in premium selection. I wanted to lower the volume down with my selections today, Tony.
There's 2 plays today, Nick, that jump off the board at me as just like, if you take them, it's the right thing to do, but you're probably going to get your ass kicked. And it's Arizona, and the other one is San Francisco, who's coming off the loss against Cincy yesterday, only their 2nd loss of the season. And here they are in bounce back mode, a 2-loss team, only laying $130. That again, that little carrot, they're just dangling out there in front of you. They want you to take a nip at it, Your thoughts on that one?
It's tickling your balls a little bit, we'll say. The Cincinnati Reds, how about it? 2-0 yesterday, and those 2 runs did not come until the top of the 8th inning. The question for the Cincinnati Reds is still that offensive production. It's been struggling all season long, while the San Francisco Giants, I believe they're averaging 4.2 runs per game. They're hitting the baseball well, especially at home. That was their first loss at home there. I'm expecting the Giants. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to get the Giants here on the money line. I like it. Lay it with them, even though it's a minus 135. I think you're getting a good price here. The Cincinnati Reds, like I said, they just struggle at the plate here until they show me otherwise. I am fading the Cincinnati Reds. It must be that Monday Cinderella story for these baseball teams like Tony's been talking about.
I think Griff would like to interject.
I'm in. So the reason that I look at this game, and I'm going to agree, I'm in agreement here, Nick. I'm on the Giants as well. The reason that this line is sitting at minus, what's that?
Should we make another wager?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on this
All
one.
right.
We can wager it together. We'll pound the shit out of it. So the reason that this line right now is sitting at -130, that's because Nick Lodolo is on the bump for the Reds. This is another gunslinger guy that nobody knows about because he's got Hunter Green in his face. Hunter Green is one of the best pitchers in baseball. For those of you guys who don't know, he's definitely not the best, but he's definitely in that top tier. He throws over nearly 100 miles an hour. His fastball is nasty. He's got a dirty breaking ball. So Lodolo's name doesn't come out as much. This guy is filthy. And when he comes out sharp, he's sharp. Right now, he's got 12 innings of work this season, 5 strikeouts and no walks. He also doesn't like to walk people. Then you look at the Giants right now, and you got Landon Roop getting the start. Nobody even knows who the hell this guy is. I do not care about that aspect because the Giants, they are an under team. They have been an under team for years, and that is all due to the fact that they have one of the best bullpens in all of baseball. So say this Landon Roop guy comes out and he sucks. Well, guess what? They're deep in their pen. To back that up, this front office for this San Francisco Giants team, what a remarkable job they did this offseason, going up and picking up Adames and Chapman. Those are 2 barrels that you need in that lineup. This team struggled for the past 2 years, and they haven't struggled. They've been a little bit over 500 team for the past 2 years because they don't score runs. They don't give up runs, but they don't score runs. They finally got some pop in their barrels. They got a nice lineup now with the Adames addition and Chapman. I really like the Giants team this year, and they are going to be a sneaky X factor all season long in the NL West. So keep your eyes out for them. But I'm back in that play with you, Nick. I'm also on them first 5 innings. I like them to come out eruption against Lodolo. I think they're going to come out in offspring. As soon as that seal cracks after a 2-0 lead like yesterday, I believe they're going to get the corks going, and they're going to score some runs here tonight, boys.
Well, there you go, folks. A little breakdown of Major League Baseball. Let's whore ourselves out for some cheap advertising. Later today on the YouTube channel, there's a little thing going on down in Augusta, Georgia, called the Masters.
There you go.
Wes Reynolds from VSiN, one of the best PGA prognosticators in the country, and I'm one of them, is going to join me for a Masters podcast. We're going to give you some futures bets, some top 10s, some top 20s. And of course, my Masters card will be out tomorrow, and I'm doing top 10s and top 20s. I like doing top 10s and top 20s in majors. For those of you living under a rock that don't watch golf, or everybody kind of watches the Masters during Masters week, for all you old married guys like me, kind of getting kind of plump around the middle, that's where you tell the old lady, I'm not doing jack shit Thursday through Sunday because I'm on the couch, I'm ordering Grubhub, and I'm going to be watching the Masters. No honey-do list, no. If you want to take me out to eat on Saturday night for some ribeye and a tater, I'm okay with that once the broadcast is over. And now, since I have Paramount Plus, which is going to stream a bunch of hours, I got my Paramount Plus. I got to get my Tulsa King in, my Yellowstone, my 1923, the new Mobland, by the way, fantastic with Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren and Tom Hardy. Get it or be square. Nonetheless, we got added hours on Paramount Plus a lot down at the Masters. So nonetheless, I think a card in PGA is like $25. I'm going to have like 5 picks on there. Griff, what do I say about $25, Griff?
I mean, we could talk Arby's. There's a lot of things, $25, but we get that 2 for $5 at Arby's. And let me tell you guys something. I've spoken about Tony George when it comes to NASCAR. Well, it's the same shit in this PGA. Tony, I don't know what it is. I'm not a huge golf guy when it comes to actually wagering on golf. I golf myself. I'm okay. I kind of suck. I'm okay. Nick's pretty good golfer. Me and Nick we hit the links from time to time. Actually, all the time, honestly. But Tony George's golf cards. Let me tell you guys about that. If you're looking for some winners, and this isn't me being a salesman, I don't give a shit, buy him or not. Tony's got winning tickets when it comes to golf. If I'm looking to wager something and I'm bored as all hell, that is the man I am calling and saying, Tony, who do we got here? Who's the head-to-head? Who's top 10? Who's top 20? Where do we wing this? I almost just went off the walls there. So I'm going
to Tony Tiger's in Tony's it this year, isn't he?
Huh?
Tiger's back in it, isn't he? He's
got that Achilles. He's out. He's out.
I thought he was making that comeback.
Yeah. Bernard Langer's last year, he's like 95 years old, but he's still winning on the Champions Tour. The guy's like 70. He's like a freak of nature. He's like what I thought Tiger Woods would be when Tiger would get on the senior tour and start, win tournaments until he was 70 because he was so good. But it's going to be an interesting week this week. Roy McIlroy's golfing good. He's in the best shape this early in the season he's been in. The last 5 years, he needs the Master to complete the Grand Slam. So a lot of storylines. But speaking of storylines, let's get to what they used to call the National Basketball Association, because I'm not so sure what we're going to call it nowadays, because I'm looking at this just absolute abortion of the board tonight. And boys, let me run something by you here. And I'm going to ask you now, if there's 3 ugly girls and 3 of us are at the high school dance, and there's 3 of them just standing there holding up the wall, we got to pick. I'm going to pick the cutest one of the 3 so I can salvage some pride. So I'm going to ask you to pick one of these ugly dates tonight in the NBA. And let's just take a look at how bad this product sucks right now. Damn. You've got the Indiana Pacers, 18.5. Yep. Cleveland, 14. Memphis, 15. And by the way, that's on the road in the National Basketball Association. Then we've got Oklahoma City hanging 15.5 on the Los Angeles Lakers. We've got the Clippers laying 12.5 against the Spurs, and the Golden State Warriors on the road at the unpredictable Phoenix Suns, which I ranted about. If I'm going to pick the prettiest girl holding up the wall out of these, it's going to be Chicago plus the number. They're averaging over 125 points a game their last 10. Just in scoring alone, you'd think they'd hang around on that type of number. And really, let's ask ourselves a question. This is your free play. Chicago plus the number. How motivated is Cleveland to play this game this close to the playoffs when they've got number 1 locked up, Nick?
They're not at all. And these Chicago Bulls are on a 3-game winning streak here, and they're playing for something. They're playing for that playing game and to be in the playoffs. I understand that these Cleveland Cavaliers are 33-6 this season at home, but Mitchell will not be in the lineup here tonight. Just like you said, Tony, they're averaging 117 points a game. I know the Chicago Bulls, they have some guys like Vukovic and Giddey on game time decision, but I expect one out of the 2 guys right there to be in the lineup here tonight. And the pace of play for the Chicago Bulls team, they've been covering spreads. They've been playing really well, and they're playing for something here. So I like the Chicago Bulls, Tony. I'm with you with the plus 14. The Cleveland Cavaliers here, they don't have anything to play for. They're resting their guys, and they're looking at that playoff spot. So I love the Bulls plus 14, Tony.
I have a little bit different of an opinion in this matchup, and the reason.
Well, you're going to be wrong if you're going against Nick. I'm just telling you up front.
So I'm going to tell you why. So I'm going to tell you why. So they've got.
Tell me why.
They got Cleveland here. This is that they got back-to-backs. So first off, it's Cleveland. Then they deal with the Heat. Then they deal with the Wizards. Then they deal with the 76ers. Those are 2 of the worst basketball teams in the NBA. Miami, beatable team. Cleveland, they know they're going to get torched. But with that being said, Cleveland, they've already locked up the number 1 seed in the East. They're well comfortable, but they have a deep bench on top of that. Chicago, on top of that, is resting a couple starters in tonight's matchup. So this could very well be a look-ahead game for them to where they're not really focused on tonight's matchup. They're more focused on the Heat than the Wizards, than Philly. So when you look at a game like this, Chicago has won 3 games in a row, and they are 7-3 in their last 10 games. And what the hell is Cleveland playing for? Nothing. They've already locked up their 1 seed. So this is a game for me where I want nothing to do with it. Nick gave this game out earlier on the Dirty 630 show. I tailed it with him. I'm not against the play, but at the same time, I do not love it by any means. This is a game for me where I would absolutely fade. What is the current total sitting at in this game? I'd be
238.
What is it?
238.
I'd hit the under. Cleveland doesn't give a shit. Chicago doesn't care. I'd look at the under in this game. Chicago cares. They're going to come out and give everything they've got. But are they really going to be able to put up that many points against this defense at Cleveland? That's where I look at this. So I'm on the under in that one.
Go ahead, Tony. Give it to him.
I'm doubling down. I'm doubling down on the Murph. I'm doubling down on the Murph.
Let's do it.
I'm going to go for it right now. Here you go, folks. Write this down. Tattoo it to your girlfriend's rear end. Team total, Chicago, over 114.5. Boom. There you go. There you go, folks. Now, there is one game that has a little bit of meaning tonight of all these abomination of games that we have, and that would be Atlanta taking on Orlando tonight. They can swap places in the standings here a little bit. Orlando at home laying 4. Atlanta hadn't been looking that good as of late. Any thoughts on this one, boys?
I do have a premium on this one, but
there you go.
For the hell of it, I will give it out. It is a smaller unit play. I like Atlanta tonight. I think Atlanta gets it done. You got this Orlando team right now. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. They're currently on a 2-game winning streak. And Atlanta, everybody knows they struggle on the road. But the way that Atlanta plays is all tempo. It's all speed. And this is a mismatch in my eyes because Orlando, on the other hand, they like to play at a very slow tempo. They like to control the game. They like their pace of play, and they don't score a lot of points. They like to beat everybody on thetheir defense. They're one of the top defenses in the league right now. So when I look at this game, I'm looking at it from a spectrum of you got Trae Young in your lineup. That's it. I'm not going to compare him to hell's his name? Why am I drawing a blank with the Thunder? Alexander. What the hell am I doing? But they play similar. The point being, give me the ball. I'm running it up and down the court, and I'm scoring on your ass as fast as possibly I can. And that's how I look at this matchup. I think there's a mismatch here. I like that we're getting 3.5 points on top of that. I mean, this line, and that was kind of where this is the only game on the board that actually makes any sense whatsoever. I think with Orlando being at home, laying 3.5 points, this should have been more like 4.5, 5 to kind of scare the public off. It didn't scare the public off. So I like this game, and I think the public wins here, taking Atlanta plus 3.5. So I'm riding the public here. I'm with them. I'm on this play with the Atlanta Hawks, and I'm taking the points.
Look for Banchero to have a big night, however, so play his over on the prop total. That would be my little lean in that game. Nick, you got anything?
It's a premium play of mine, but everything that Griff said, I'll just go ahead and give it out here. I'm on the Atlanta Hawks. There you go, plus the points. They're averaging 118 points per game here, while, like Griff said, the Orlando Magic just 105. Their pace of play is nowhere near like this Atlanta Hawks team. I think Trae Young has a big night. It's a meaningful game. We're getting into crunch time. I think Trae Young has himself a game in Orlando here and gets the cover, maybe the win too. I'd sprinkle a little pizza money on that as well.
I think they either win it outright. I don't think the spread's going to matter tonight. I think it's you win or you lose straight up.
Ladies and gentlemen, start petitioning DocSports.com to customer service, because no other host on this network at Docs has the type of prowess that I have that can squeeze premium plays out of handicappers on a live show like Tony George. Is Craig Trapp doing that? Where's Trapp at anyway?
I thought he was jumping in. I don't know where the hell he's at.
I thought he was jumping in. I told you I was going to steamroll him if he came on. So, you know, end of the day, we got about a minute and a half left. I'm going to skip out on the NHL and let Nick, unless you got something. Did you have something real quick in the NHL? Or can we just go right to the promos to whore ourselves out?
I got a little something real quick. We got the Chicago Blackhawks in Pittsburgh. If you recall, the Chicago Blackhawks picked up the win against these Pittsburgh Penguins here on Sunday, 3-1. I think it's simply a bounce back game where Pittsburgh plays their better hockey here. I would lay it on the puck line, -1.5 over the Chicago Blackhawks. I like the Penguins to get it done here at home against the team they just played on Sunday, Tony.
Premium plays, DocSports.com, free $60, link in the description below, tab on the website, thumbs up and subscribe to the channel as well. I've got a doubleheader in the NBA prop market tonight. I've got a doubleheader in Major League Baseball. I've got the, don't forget to tune back into the channel like at the Masters. We're going to give you a bunch of freebies there with Wes Reynolds. And then Griff and I, the Vegas Beat podcast tomorrow. That goes up about 3 Central, a sports betting show for guys and gals who like to bet sports. Nick, anything big going on tonight?
Yeah, we got a top play in the NHL, a 3-pack actually there. So that kicks off at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're locked and loaded back on the baseball field. 2-pack there, and just one single play that I gave out on the show. There you go for the NBA. So locked and loaded here, Tony.
Well, I know Murphy's yanking the trigger. He's always yanking the trigger. What do you got going on today, baby?
Yeah, I got a 7-unit on the NHL side of things. That's part of a 3-play card coming off a 3-0 sweep on the ice yesterday, bouncing right back coming in today. And on top of that, I have a 6-unit in MLB. That's part of a 3-play or a 2-play card as well. And then I've got 3 plays on the NBA side of things, 2 totals, 1 side play. And that's why you guys already got my side. So you know where the total, you know, the rest are totals, but that's where we're at with this one, Tony. Yanking the chain, unloading the tank, and ready to roll, brother.
You youngins, I ain't got jack crap on you, man, because I couldn't find a game in the NHL that I liked today. But I'm a low volume cat. I'm up on the season. I pick and choose my spots wisely. You know, that's I only approach the best looking girl in the bar. I don't go for the ugly ones.
You got to go for the big ones sometimes, Tony.
No.
Nick's got no issue with that. He'll take
I'll let you boys run down there and chase them all. I'm just going to walk down there and get the one. Doc Sports, where you need to be, ladies and gentlemen. And we appreciate you tuning in to Doc's Daily. Get over there. The best of the best gather at docsports.com. Be sure and come over and see us. Tune back in tomorrow for Doc's Daily, noon Central.